Sunday, we would like to welcome our special guests. We're going to start us off with an opening song called One Heart. This is Satigata.
Hello. Welcome, good morning. Hello. So we encourage people to move, to stand and dance, to do whatever moves you. This song actually has a Sanskrit term in it.
I need some help with the mic here.
The Sanskrit term is abeja, which is a Sanskrit term for indivisible existence or unity. Where have I heard that before? And basically what it means is that the essence of this song is celebration. So it's a joyful, hopefully a joyful start to the service today. An expression of joy in indivisibility between each other. Largely it's an homage to non-duality. But a joyful one, not so much just a calm, peaceful one. There's always that dimension underlying our experience. But also a joyful celebration of non-duality. So, one heart. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. One sun, one spark, one light, one soul, one heart, one mind, one open sky. Oh, my vision, just one heart. Abija, all streams lead to one heart. Abija, all streams lead to one heart. One sound, that's right. One voice, one ground, one love, one flame, one heart, one mind, one open sky. Abija, just one heart. Abija, all streams lead to one heart. Abija, all streams lead to one heart. Some good life out there. Good. soul, one heart, one mind, one open sky. I said, oh, my vision, just one heart. Sing with us. Our vision, all streams lead to one heart. Especially at Unity Church. Our vision, all streams lead to one heart. Oh, our vision, all streams lead to one heart. Oh, our vision, all streams lead to one heart. Lead to one heart. Lead to one heart. Lead to one heart. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for participating.
What a day to gather down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my soul to Jesus down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my soul to Jesus down by the riverside. Oh,
Let us pray. Mother, Father, God, surely the presence of the Lord is in this place because we are in this place. We are the hands, the voice, and the heart of our older brother and way shower, Jesus Christ. In this season of Thanksgiving, we are so grateful for this sacred sanctuary, for community. We are just grateful that the power of God lives within us and answers our prayers. We affirm that there is comfort and healing for those that mourn. And as the season of Advent approaches, we know that we are good and we are God, and so it is. Amen.
Hello.
Hello, Mickey.
Welcome to Unity on the River. Great music this morning, huh? Wow. Beautiful. I love those guys. Those guys, Saratiga?
Satigaga.
Satigaga. They'll be Satigata. La 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 la. Da da. Anyway, they're going to be here Wednesday night. So they're going to be doing 2 more songs, but then they're going to be here for a whole hour on Wednesday evening. So please come and bring your friends. Beautiful. Welcome to Unity on the River. I can't believe everyone doesn't come. I just don't understand why everyone doesn't come to this church. It's so beautiful and positive, right? Everyone have a good Thanksgiving? Okay. It's okay if you didn't. If you didn't, go see a chaplain after service. That's why they're here. Remember, every day is a day of Thanksgiving, though. Always have gratitude in your heart. So let's welcome the streamers. Hi. Welcome, streamers. Okay, who's here for the first time? Oh, great. Great. These guys. Awesome. Keep your hands up. We do have a flower for you. Anyone else here for the first time? Okay. So we have a flower in a welcome packet. Check us out. You can see what we're all about. There's also a fellowship area. Obviously, you enhance us. That's for sure. Boy, are you ever going to. But thank you for coming. It is truly a blessing to have you. And that flower gets you 10% off in the bookstore if you want. We have some great stuff in the bookstore. So check it out. You have them today and Wednesday night for that. Okay. Time to breathe. Everyone take a breath. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Let's hold these truths in your heart as we say together our mission and our vision statements. Mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence of all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision statement together. Centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. So I have a few brief announcements. As I said, this Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, Kirtan with Satagati. Sorry. Join us. Join for an evening of contemplative music of the crossroads of Buddhist practice, chanting with the accessibility of acoustic American folk rock. And like I said, you'll be hearing more of them during service. This Thursday, the 29th at 5 p.m., I don't know what to eat. Well, it's not true, but as you can see, I know exactly what to eat. But I don't know if she's here. Is she here? Beth? Okay, thank God. Oh, that's for me? Yes. Is that God calling? It's CBS. Plant-based whole food introduction and workshop. Join our own Beth Gilmore for the why, the how, to keep it simple, foods to eat and to avoid, and food challenges around the holidays, which is definitely true. So that'll be Thursday evening at 5 p.m. here. Then Saturday, December 1st, is our Christmas decorating party. Now, we've already got a whole bunch of good leaders. So all you have to do is come and help out, and there's going to be food, and there's going to be fun and refreshments. Like I say, we have the various team leaders. They just need to have your help. Sign up at the Spiritual Resource Center. And then for our last announcement, I want to bring up our own Peter Stringham.
Hi, you're definitely going to want to put on your calendars Friday, December 14th. That's going to be our holiday concert. It's going to be different from anything we've ever done before. We have the Overtones, who are an a cappella group, going to give you an a cappella Christmas. And it's going to be fun, it's going to be uplifting, and it's going to be something totally different. So that's going to be great. And then for the second half, we are going to do a Christmas Carol sing-along that I guarantee you will never forget. And I'm not saying anything more about it. It's going to be really different. Okay, back to Nikki.
Thank you, Peter. And now it's that time in our service when we look at each other, we hold each other in love. We say to ourselves, or we say to each other, I see you. I see your beauty. I see your magnificence. I see the divine in you. Namaste. And now, I'd like to introduce our heart opener, Part of It.
It's always such a good feeling to be here and to be part of you and for you to be part of us. Like they were saying in the opening song, we're all one. Don't know why I feel this way. take a little time to be part of it, yeah. Unity on the River Choir! Unity on the River Band!
Wow. Lynn Taylor. Lynn Taylor. Nice job, Lynn. Thank you for helping out today. We all know Lynn.
My honor.
So, it is. Thank you. Now it's that time. I'd like to introduce our speaker. Somebody we all know. She's been part of us for a long time. Unity, chaplain for 4 years, graduate of Chime, her own practice, retired school teacher. Really doesn't take much, doesn't need a lot of introduction. Our very own Carol Waleryszak.
Wow, it is so nice to be here and to see so many familiar faces. Thank you for having me. My talk today is about singing, connecting, and giving. I took a performance tour to South Africa with 60 other women. So I'm going to ask for the first slide to come up. There we are. Voices from the Heart is actually 200 women, and we're based in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Our director is Joanne Connolly of York, Maine, and we actually attract singers from Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. Lynn Tatarczyk, who goes to this church, I don't know if she's here today, she just joined, and she was already up there dancing to one of the African songs, first concert. So we get together, all 200 of us, we go to South Church, we actually do concerts 2 a year, we go out into the community and we sing at memorial services, a lot of it's volunteer. We actually have a prayer shawl ministry there. And there's lots of connecting. We hike and we can party hardy, let me tell you. We don't need an excuse. Now, Voices across South Africa, there were 60 of us. The invitation was open to all 200 women to go, and 60 of us responded that we would like to go. And we started saving our money to be able to do that. It was a 3-week tour, and it was a humanitarian journey, a lot of music, and a lot of connecting with people we didn't know. We had another choir come see us. They were called the Berg River Choir from Picketburg. That was 4 years ago. And Eric and I hosted 2 women. I remember Doris and Mercy were their names. And they said to us that during apartheid, they sang in separate choruses, very near one another. The people of color had one chorus and the white people had the other. And after apartheid, they got together and they began to sing as a group. I also noticed being there, I won't say a lot about apartheid, but it wasn't a cure-all. Nelson Mandela was wonderful, and he brought a lot of reconciliation to the country, but there were still obvious differences, a lot of poverty, people still living in townships, overpopulation, and a lot of wealthier neighborhoods, high fences, barbed wire. They protected us pretty much. Cape Town is where we started, and it was a pretty safe city. So why don't we go to the map? I wanted to just show you where we started. We flew out of Boston into Amsterdam, and then after a layover into Cape Town. It was about 20 hours of being on a plane. Can I ask if anybody's been to Cape Town here? I see one hand. It is the most beautiful city. It's known for its history and its beauty. And we'll get a look at the city itself now. I'm supposed to do this when it's time to change. Okay. There is Cape Town. It's just a vast population, and it's bordered by mountains, and that's Table Mountain at the top. Some of our younger singers did climb that mountain. I didn't. And then it's surrounded by sandy beaches and a beautiful waterfront. And it's known as the mother city of South Africa. Okay, next. The day after we got there, we were exhausted, as you can well imagine, and they let us have a down day. So we did a Cape Peninsula tour, and we ended up at the Cape of Good Hope, and that's where the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean come together. We saw some really sweet endangered penguins and visited with them, and we did a really strong hike that day. It was up a hill. It was about 700 feet above sea level. Now, before I went on this trip, I was a little concerned, and I did turn to unity, and I decided to make my intention the third unity principle, that I could really create my experiences on this trip with the way I thought, the way I believed, and the way I felt. And there were challenges. You know, physically, it was pretty challenging at times. It wasn't a vacation. It was a working musical extravaganza. And before I left, I got a call. And the call was from one of the board members. And they said, Carol, one of our members can't go. She has pneumonia. Not only was she a professional musician and a singer with our group, a soloist, she was a blind guide to another singer, and her name was Alex. So they asked me if I would be a blind guide for at least 1 week, which I had never done. I will say I took this into prayer. The answer was yes. And we had quite an experience together. We crashed and burned all over Cape Town. That's what they called it. And, but I'm so proud of her. She's only 27 years old. And she was able to open up to other singers. You know, we're all different personalities, different ages, mostly middle age. And she learned to relate to everyone. And everyone, it was a village. Everyone stepped in. I did most of the nights, and, you know, people took over from there. How do you feel about music? You know, I come here and I'm blown away by the music. And I'm so happy you're here today. Good work. And our group and, you know, our choir. And music is so important. And for me, I'm not a professional musician. I read music about this much. But I've always loved to sing. I've always loved to dance. I love to move. I love harmonies and rhythms. And when I'm at a rehearsal, I come home singing. I wake up in the morning and I'm singing. I have a lot less stress that way because I live with Eric, the big photographer. And my kids live next door. So how do you feel about singing? Do you come here because you enjoy music? It is a music ministry. That's one of the reasons, right? And as I was looking into music, I realized that for me, music is connecting to a higher power. It's connecting with others and their higher power. And it really is a way to build bridges with others. Jimi Hendrix said, music doesn't lie. If there is something to be changed in this world, then it can only happen through music. Let's see, where are we? That one's not working. So I won't have you go back to the map, but we went the garden route, and we probably traveled 800 miles by buses and vans. And some places we went into, buses wouldn't fit. We sang at churches and concert halls. She had us singing in malls. She had us singing in parking lots. She had us singing at the hotel the night we came in at midnight. And in the morning at breakfast, we sang. And as we sang, we learned a lot of Zulu songs and Xhosa songs. There's 11 languages in Cape Town. So we're singing this beautiful harmony. And all of a sudden, we hear this voice soloing over the top. And it was Boosie, our server, the most beautiful voice, singing her interpretation of this song. And She was there 7 days a week at 5:30 in the morning. But we invited her the next night to come and sing with us and bring some of her church choir, which she did. And as we sang, the hotel staff started filtering in. And pretty soon it was a sing-along like you wouldn't believe. And it's interesting because there are such obvious divisions between black and white people still. And one of the staff came up to a friend of mine and she touched her skin. She said, "I never thought I would hear someone with your skin color sing my songs." So that's the effect. You know, here we are, we're a bunch of middle-aged white women who sing and dance. And it doesn't matter where we are. And every time we were in a concert, when we sang South African songs, it was like the light was turned on. And they all joined with us. And Joanne, our director, is a lot of fun. And she doesn't really care. She's just herself. And we were ourselves. So it made it a joyous time. Okay, next slide is an organization called Music Works. We raised a lot of money, almost $55,000 in 2 years. And some of that money went for scholarships for women who wanted to go, who didn't really have all the money. We also gave money to every church and venue that we visited. And this organization, we gave $17,000 to. It's a music therapy program for children who have suffered trauma. And we met them all. We went to a primary school, and they were all there sitting, waiting for us, and we wanted to present this big check. They weren't impressed. You know, they just kind of sat there and looked like, what are these women about? But again, as we sang, they joined in. They knew the African dances, and it didn't matter what age. And we granted them a check for the $17,000, and we had it blown up. And we have pictures. Those kids have never even thought about that much money, let alone having their organization get that much money. It doesn't just train them in music, it provides transportation to their homes for safety purposes because they live in the townships. The next slide is, you see a cave. It's the Mother Stone. And this is an ancient archaeological site that did fertility rites back in the day, and there's this beautiful stone. We hiked into it, and the energy, you could feel the energy. It was quiet. It was peaceful. The ocean was kind of at a distance, and the 60 of us gathered in this cave. We all fit, and we began to sing songs of peace. And it echoed, and it was, I just can't tell you how beautiful it was. Now, I have a friend, her name is Pearl. She gave me permission to mention her. She brought her mother's ashes from New Hampshire with the intention of spreading them here. So she asked me if I would spread her mother's ashes with her. So we found a place in the back of the cave that was sandy, and we did spread her mother's ashes along with 2 other women who joined us. And she said, you know, my mother has never been to Africa, but it was her dream, and she loves all things African. And she learned about Africa through National Geographic, other books, and film. And it was an appropriate place to spread her mother's ashes. The next slide is a young woman. Her name is Amy Beal. There's a foundation that we visited, had a great day. Amy was killed through mob violence during apartheid. She was an anti-apartheid activist, and she was based over there. One day, somebody in her group needed a ride home, so she drove into the township, and she was pulled out of the car, and she was killed. So this was at the time, right before the Truth and Reconciliation Commission was created by Nelson Mandela, and Desmond Tutu was in charge of that. So, of course, the parents were devastated. And this commission brought people together, victims and perpetrators of violence, so that they could talk out their differences. And forgiveness was what they were looking for. The Book of Forgiveness by Desmond Tutu is about this. And they went, and they sat down with 4 of the boys who were convicted of murdering their daughter, and they forgave them. Then they employed 2 of them in this foundation. And it is a wonder to behold. It's a school. It's a school to supplement education in the townships of Cape Town. It probably had at least 100 students from the ages of 18 to 30, and they train kids in hospitality and food preparation, massage. I had 2 massages. Also, cosmetology, sewing, and crafts. We bought every craft available. We sang with them and danced with them, and they cooked dinner for us, taking into account that probably 15 of us had food allergies. And so they cooked special meals for everybody, which was above and beyond. But they were able to do that. And this is really Amy's legacy, and it's an important one. This fellow's name is Bongani. I didn't meet Bongani because he was traveling in the United States, but he knew my director, Joanne, and he wrote a special lullaby for us that we sang at his church, the Old Apostolic Church. All I can tell you is we went in and there were 9 elder men like this. And they sat in the front row, and they didn't smile. And it was pretty intimidating. So fortunately, Joanne had her back to them, and she was directing us, so she wasn't aware of how we were feeling. And so what we all did is we just looked at Joanne and we sang our songs. And we went on after 3 of their choirs, their church choirs, because Bongani is one of their church choir directors. He's known all over South Africa for his music. So then again, at the end, we went into Zulu songs and Xhosa songs, and the congregation just rose to their feet, and they started singing and dancing and coming forward. And I even noticed one of the elders with a little smile. They're an interesting church, though, because they feel they are Jesus Christ returned collectively, and they take on the crucifixion of Christ. They feel the nails from the cross physically, and so we were told that we couldn't really clap. We could only do this, because that's what they do. Interesting. And my most special day is coming up. We sang at Desmond Tutu's church, St. Oswald's. We didn't know the man himself would be there. Our director knew, but she was asked not to tell us because we might fall apart or something. I don't know. But I could see him from where I was singing. And I knew it was him because he's like one of my favorite elders on the planet. And I'll tell you, he's 86 years old and he's not well. But he was just up there grooving, and his wife was playing the piano on his back. And he is incredible. At the end, when he came out, they let him go first. It was his wife, his daughter, and he. I was still with Alex as her blind guide. He came over to Alex, and he wrapped his arms around her, and he gave her just a lot of love, as did his wife and his daughter. And, of course, I'm right there, and he took my hand, so I put my arm around him, and he gave me a hug, too. So, indeed, that was pure blessing for this trip. This is we were in 2 Dutch Reformed churches. Has anybody ever been in a Dutch Reformed church? Well, they're over there. But the minister is way up high. He has to climb stairs, and he's above the congregation. But in this particular church, we didn't really go to a service, but this was Picketburg. And the choir that came to see us invited us to go see them. So this is the Berg River Choir. And we were there 3 days. It wasn't city, it was country. Lush, green, mountainous, lots of canola fields, and a real canola fields, yet yellow. Not cannoli, that's Italian, right? Canola oil. Oh, no. So, anyway, we sang at a farm there, a sheep farm, and then we judged a talent show, some of us, for farm kids. And then we had a gala celebration, and the Afrikaans Women's Society invited us all. We each got gifts of handmade items, and we were able to see Doris and Mercy. Well, I was. Rick wasn't there. Now, this gentleman, I just want to talk about him because he's probably the most inspirational connection that I made on this trip. His name is Sherlock Fortuin. He's the director of the Berg River Choir. He's known throughout South Africa. If it weren't for him, we would not have had the experiences we had because he knows people. He's got the biggest heart. He can take everyone in this room into his heart and know each one of you and honor each one of you. And that's what he did with us. He is humorous and brilliant, talented, and he shared his experience with cancer. And I thought I would bring that up. I know this church has undergone a lot in the last few weeks, and but he is so inspirational, the way he has handled this journey. He actually keeps up with us on WhatsApp. Does anybody have that app? It's all over the world and doesn't cost a cent, right? So we're always giving him support. And what he found out maybe 4 weeks ago is that he had two options. He would either die in 8 months if he went on the way he did, or he could have genetic manipulation therapy. And he found out it cost $850,000. And people immediately went into fundraising mode, and they raised a lot of money. Thank you, Mickey. I'm not always on time, so Mickey's helping me with my time. So what happened is he was accepted into a study in New York City, and he is there now undergoing his therapy, and he's very, very hopeful that he will be cured. I just wanted to share a little bit of what he sent in a Thanksgiving message, because it applies to all of us. I wish to take the opportunity to wish all of you a beautiful Thanksgiving, imbued with time for reflection, introspection, and alacrity for life. I love the idea of Thanksgiving, and that it is one of the only festivals in the world where all cultures, religious groups, racial groups, no matter who you are, can unite and say thank you, not to a religion in particular, but to life in general. I'm thankful for each season and the sheer beauty that nature bestows on us. I am thankful for new medical inventions that help me to cope and have kept me alive. I am thankful for my whole medical team. I do not have enough words of thanks for their caring and support. May you greet tomorrow with fervor and a zest for life, and may you use each day to be the protagonist of a thankful course in somebody else's life. Bless you, Sherlock. I'm not going to go big time into this. We did stay in log cabins in this beautiful area. I just wanted to point out that baboons were a nuisance. Some people hike that suspension bridge. And those little things, have you ever seen a dassie? They're about this big. They're rodents. And they have sharp teeth in the front. And one night I forgot something at my cabin, and it was dusk. And I went back home, and there were 40 of them under my cabin. And so I just didn't look at them. I ran up the stairs. I got what I needed. I ran out, and they didn't bother me. We were also at St. Augustine's Catholic Church in Port Elizabeth. This is where my husband was able to join me. He came and brought his camera, and he was able to take lots of photographs of our final concert. It was International Women's Day, and we sang again with, these were high school groups, 3 other groups, and ended up, we were all mixed up singing and dancing at the end. It always worked that way, and we were able to connect with a lot of kids and answer a lot of questions that they had. This was in Port Elizabeth, which was our last stop. Okay. After that, Rick and I spent 5 days on safari in the Amakala Game Reserve, and he took over 1,000 photographs of wildlife. Yeah. Okay, next. I saved this for last. Has anybody ever heard of this painting called Hope? It was painted by George Watts in 1866, and I really hadn't heard of it either, but I wanted to share some of the words of the Dutch Reformed minister at this church. We were actually the guest choir at this church, and we toned our gospel music down, and we sang Finlandia for one song, and I think we did sing All God's Children there, which was, it was conservative, and he spoke in Afrikaans and English. But Hope is a famous painting because Martin Luther King based his Shattered Dreams sermon on this painting and his I Have a Dream speech. Barack Obama wrote his book, The Audacity of Hope. And basically what it teaches us, no matter how much negativity there is in the world, there is always hope. And looking at this woman, she's blindfolded, she's in the dark, she's sitting on a globe, she's playing a lyre, which is an ancient instrument like a harp, and there's only one string left. And in the days this was painted, the clergy said, well, what has this got to do with hope? And what does this have to do with faith? And you really can't, you can't see much in there, but there is light that comes in by her foot, and there's even a star up in the sky. And that little bit of light does show. And his message was, we are the light of the world, no matter what. We are here to turn our light on and not hide it. He asks us to be observers and really to create our own experiences by what we think, what we feel, and to go deeper than what's on the superficial side of something. His name was Reverend Johann. In his words, God's gift is our ability to sing in darkness. Hope is the ability to hear the music of the future, even if listening to the music of one string. We are the light. God seeded hope and light deeper within us than we ever realized. As observers, we can look at the darkness and shed light upon it. History shows us the power of fear, the lasting hold of greed, and the desire to dominate others in the minds of men. History shows how easily people can be convinced to turn on those who look different or worship God in a different way. If we're truly to continue Nelson Mandela's long walk towards freedom, we're going to have to work harder and smarter. We don't need just one leader. We don't just need one inspiration. What we badly need right now is a collective spirit. When groups of seemingly disparate people defect and band together in the way of Jesus, they form what we call unterror cells. They secretly plot detonations of hope. They quietly conspire to set off explosions of spontaneous kindness. They plan gentle coups d'etats to replace regimes of domination and oppression with movements of empowerment and service. In a complete overthrow of violent terrorism, they fly airplanes of generosity into towers of need and plant improvised encouragement devices by roadsides and in neighborhoods. everywhere seeking God's kingdom and God's equity. Everything we touch is the light of hope. The pastor's advice to us: be the difference you want to see in the world. In preparation for entering the silence, I invite you to close your eyes and relax. And breathe deeply and easily. In this season of Thanksgiving, take time now to pause and restore your natural balance. You are giving yourself a generous gift. Time to stop, breathe, and allow joy to bubble up within you right here and right now. Just be. Feel your body relax with ease. Notice your breath and be aware of the natural rhythm of your heartbeat. Breathe and rejoice in these moments of peace and joy as you let go and embrace the sweetness of life in its many forms. In this holy instant, your life is brought into focus through the power of your intention, the power of your prayers. If you are still enough in mind and body, you experience the inspiration of spirit. You hear that you are a beloved child, that you are loved, that you are free, that you are whole, that you are creative and successful. The divine flow does its perfect work as you free your consciousness, your house, and your heart. Let us gently open our eyes and return to the sanctuary, knowing that we are open and receptive to the divine flow as we continue the service and look forward to the week ahead. And in the words of Mr. Moore, let us remember music. The rest of the chorus will sing. The rest of the band will play. Together we can sustain a very long, beautiful song for a very, very long time. We don't have to do it all, but we must add our voices to the song. Mother, Father, God, we thank you for these prayers in the prayer box, knowing that people have placed their prayers in here, their prayers of need, their prayers of want, their prayers of thanksgiving. And we know that these prayers are answered. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
We invite you to chant the earliest Buddhist mantra, the Vajra mantra, 3 simple syllables, Om, Ah, Hum, and then an extra hum for extra compassion. Hum is the syllable for compassion. Allowing this to be a heart-opening chant that we sing together. Don't be shy and jump in. You'll hear the sequence of the chanting, so allowing it to be organic and natural and heart-opening.
Thank you. And as we get our tithes and offerings together, I'd like to say thank you, Carol, for a wonderful
You're welcome.
your travels, the stories, you're wonderful. Thank you for, sharing those beautiful stories. They all have such lessons within them. You were really blessed
Right.
to just be a part of, to see the oneness. So thank you for sharing that with us. So as we put together our tithes and offerings, I'd like to recognize those beautiful souls that are our chaplains. If you could please stand. These folks are here to do a prayer. If you want to do a prayer, you can sit with them right after service, or if you have a prayer of gratitude even, they'd love to hear it. Whatever you need from them, they are here for you. Also, we have a home and hospital service. Those folks could stand. Home and Hospital by Annie, and we've got Nancy. They are here to, if you have anybody that's in the hospital or at home, bedridden, that need them to come and say some prayers. You can also submit your prayers in the prayer box, as we saw. We also have a prayer line that's on our website that you can leave, and then that actually goes to Unity on the River. That goes to Unity, Silent Unity, for another 30 days for prayers. So there's lots of ways to let go of anything that is bothering you. I remember calling Unity, Silent Unity, at like 3 in the morning one time. It really helped. So as we gather our tithes and offerings, let's do our tithes and offerings affirmation. Oh. On this side. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
So this piece is called Carry Me. It's an homage to Green Tara in the Buddhist tradition, who represents protection during difficult times as well as spiritual guidance when we need it most. But we can also bring up the image of whatever divine feminine speaks to us. So it doesn't have to be a Buddhist deity, but this is really a celebration and an appeal to the divine feminine, to the goddess who extends unconditional love and compassion to us and protection.
So let me just say a couple things too. The Tara, the mantra in Sanskrit for Tara is Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. And the way this song works is Chris will sing the call and I'll sing the response. And I'm sometimes out of key, so if you guys could sing with me, that would be really good, because that would kind of mask whatever pitch issues I have. There's also a part where there's a response, won't you carry me? And I also could use some support there. So those two parts, responding to the mantra, and then won't you carry me? We really would welcome your voices.
Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha.
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 Take me away, won't you carry me? Let me rest in your arms for a while. Take me away, won't you carry me? Let me gaze in the sweetness of your smile. Tara, take me home.
Won't you carry
Tara, take me home.
Won't you carry
tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Nice. Keep me away, won't you carry me? Let me rest in your arms for a while. Keep me away, won't you carry me? Let me gaze in the sweetness of your smile. Try to take me, oh,
Won't you carry me?
try to take me, oh,
Won't you carry me?
try to take me, oh,
Won't you carry me?
oh, won't you carry me home? Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture
Let's hear you. Don't be shy. Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare.
Let's keep it going.
ture
Drop out the
soha.
guitars. Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare
Oh, yeah.
tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha. From the heart.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Om tare tutare ture soha.
Take me away, won't you carry me? Let me rest in your arms for a while.
Beautiful. Very beautiful. Take it up now. Thank you. That was just beautiful. Okay, if I could ask my ushers to come forward. Holy Spirit, we are so grateful for these tithes and offerings. We know they come directly from the heart, that they are the energy brought forward to operate this church and really go out into the world and do the work of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much, everybody. Now I'd like to say some thank yous to everybody that makes this service happen. Many folks put their time during the week and on Sunday mornings to make this service happen. Special angels, Jim Lauren, the chaplain team, for putting together a wonderful luncheon for Tom, our new licensed Unity teacher. Teams I'd like to thank is Spirit on the River Board, the bookstore team, Unity Choir. Board members, please stand. I'd like to say thank you to our board members that are here. Thank you so much. Just want to remind you that Wednesday night service are those gentlemen that we just heard. So make sure you come by Wednesday night at 7 p.m. to see and hear many more songs, which will be very, very beautiful. All right, let's do a little, I think I'm going to shine some light. So this little light of mine, yeah, I think I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine. Thank you, Lynn.
this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. How about you?
Come on, Lynn.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Ain't gonna let nobody blow it out. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna let nobody blow it out. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Ain't gonna let nobody blow it out. No, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Piece of lovely. Take this light around the world, and we're gonna let it shine. We're gonna take this light around the world now. Gonna let it shine. We're gonna take this light around the world, and we're gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Well, this little light of mine, we're gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, we're gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more time, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, 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 shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it
All right.
That's Lynn Taylor.
It's time. It's that time.
We are walking as the light of God. 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 We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking. We are walking. We are walking as the light of God.
We had another great day in there. I'm going to take the time to talk about the giving tree. Can you not hear me? Now, can you hear me? Okay. I'm not going to pretend that my voice can carry. So I'm going to talk about the giving tree real quick. There's a table by the tree. I'm doing a little different system this year. If you want a tag, come out and get one. We have some from our community and some from the Amesbury program. And just make sure I get your name and number. It was a little chaotic at the end of last year. When you bring your gift, bring it unwrapped. And you can either drop it in the office during the week or bring it into the children's area, there's going to be a box. Last year, some of the stuff went into like the donated jackets and things, and so it got really crazy because there was, so everything into the children's area, and I'll collect them. They need to be back by December 9th. And thank you. You guys are really generous. The tags always go, and we do have some families that we're contributing to this year, and it's really nice to be able to do that. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions, call me. If you have need still, just let me know, or Matthew know, or Sarah. She's not here this week, but let one of us know. And I'll give you my email if you just don't know what somebody might want, and you want to email me, and we'll get it taken care of. Okay, thank you. Have a nice Sunday.
Let's sing our peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
The light of God surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed. Good job. Sarah for flowers.